Up next on Inside ChampCar, looking back at VIR. Welcome to Inside ChampCar. He's Bill Strong. That's the good-looking guy in the top right corner.
Brian, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I'm Brian Bielanski.
You know how Formula One has Heineken 00 as their sponsor?
Yeah. We do not have
Budweiser Zero
as
their sponsor.
Okay.
But we're going to try.
Why don't you work on that, Bill?
I am.
Send some my way. So, our guest today, Jeremy Boyce from NLS Racing. Welcome, Jeremy.
Thanks for having me, guys. Glad to be here.
Good to have you.
So we had an exciting race at VIR.
Yeah?
Yes, it was.
The Sunday race was the most exciting. You know, typical Porsche just winning, leading the race pretty much all day long.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
A couple of times. Well, wait, we're not. Porsche wins. But then they run out of gas.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
Porsches need gas. And then a 240 just suddenly appeared.
Spoiler alert.
But hey, guess what? Jeremy, how'd you get started in this thing we like called racing?
Well, that's no surprise. I knew that question was coming.
Because you're not a first-time listener.
No, been listening since day one, guys. Great. I love the podcast. So
that's good to hear. Thank you.
So I knew I was prepared for what was coming.
Did you take notes? Is like, are you going to read it off your hand?
Yeah.
I love it.
No.
Yeah.
So as a lot of guys have said in the past, I guess my dad would have started it. He used to race boats up in New Jersey, flat bottom skiffs, Garvey boats. Had like inboard V8s, stock class, unlimited, whatnot. So he did that when I was real young. And he kind of got out of the boat racing. And then I was always, as a teenager, interested in trucks, muscle cars. I drove a big block Chevelle.
But wait, you're from Frisco,
North Carolina.
So,
originally from New Jersey, but most of my life has been here.
You grew up in Frisco. Now,
yep.
I go there once a year. We go to Cape Hatteras. And your dad works as a boat captain out there, or a ferry captain, or works on the ferries at North Carolina, at Hatteras.
That's correct.
So I know there's a racetrack in Hatteras, except it's for go-karts.
There's a little
it's a little past Frisco, over from the Frisco, or past Frisco. Now, how does one get to like cars? There's no racetracks all around you, anywhere near you.
Well, it started with trucks because we have beach. We could drive out on the beach before it was all restricted like it is now. So we had big trucks and we'd go out on the beach and
have fun.
Have some fun, raise a little hell, go out and have a good time. And then I ran across a too good to pass up deal on a 69 Chevelle, big block with a 4-speed in it.
That's what every high school kid needs.
That was my car when I was a senior in high school, so I had the coolest car in school. So I was a muscle car guy, true and true forever, I swore. But as time goes on, I realized, there's a lot of other cool cars out there. So,
like the 280Z, is it 280Z behind you?
It's a 240Z.
Oh, that's like a 280Z, just smaller and older.
Same thing, just older. Yeah. There's another one sitting out in the yard, a parts car.
So my old racing partner back in Atlanta ran a 240Z, and actually it was a 200S, and then he went into a 240Z.
SX, 200SX?
Yeah, 200SX, and then he went into a 240Z, and fun cars. Not hard to work on, lots of room in the engine bay. So, you having fun with that thing?
I'd like to someday if I could ever get the car finished. Unfortunately, I have this hobby called racing that takes most of my free time away. So someday I hope to get the car going.
So what are you racing?
So we have two cars.
Okay.
Our original car is a 93 240 SX.
Got it. Okay.
I've been racing that for, I think this is our 8th season, I believe now.
Okay.
And then a couple of years ago, we bought a 300ZX, 87, and have been slowly dialing it in. Still got some teething problems with it, but we'll get there. The hope is to get that car faster than the original car. It's lighter, has more fuel, and the same engine. So
now, when you guys started racing the 240 SX, did you have the little 4-cylinder in that?
We did for the first probably 3 years, and that it's not enough.
Right now,
I remember passing you guys a few times in my car.
Yeah,
that did have.
So we eventually, we got our feet wet. Learned a little bit of racing, and then we wanted to win. So the 4-cylinder was not going to cut it. So we did the Maxima V6 swap into it.
You got that 4-liter in there?
No. Stock is best.
So the 3-liter.
It's a 3-liter. We keep it as a 3-liter. It's legit. It's done good for us. We've had some issues, figuring it out over the years, but we think we kind of finally got it nailed down here. So,
well, that's a pretty tough car. I mean, it's taken a little bit of a beating, not as much as some of our cars have, but you've run it on some pretty rough tracks, done some damage.
We've taken a couple of good licks over the years.
Yep.
We almost rode it off one time, but chassis wise, I mean, it's a great car. The engine's a little finicky. We've been, like I said, I think we got it figured out now. We'll see when it gets to the hot races. We do good in the cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's one thing you guys have had issues with is overheating.
Yeah, that's been our main issue the last few years. Especially, like I said. Well, that's part of the problem. The first couple of years with this engine, it wasn't an issue. And the only thing we could come up with is we're faster now, and now we're, you're on full throttle for that extra second here, second there, and all of a sudden, the motor's not getting time to cool down. So
is it engine temps or is it oil temps?
Mostly coolant temp.
Yeah.
And these motors seem to be real sensitive to the head gaskets. So once it reaches a certain point, you're pretty much done.
Yeah. That's no fun.
No, we've been through a lot of engines over the years, but luckily they're really cheap from the junkyard. So we buy 4 or 5 at a time, and always have a stock of engines. We buy. The more you buy, the cheaper the junkyard gives them to you, and they're very, very easy to find.
Yeah.
So
I did that. I bought like 4 engines, 4 3.3 Toyota V6s, and we put one in, and it lasted. It's still in the car to this day. I had to start selling. Yeah, Troy bought the rest of my engines because they were just sitting there, kind of, just sitting there, and Virginia's pretty humid. I guess it's the same in North Carolina, so you really don't want to have these things sitting around too long.
Well, and if you have cooling problems, it's not like it ever gets hot in North Carolina, right?
No. No, never.
Never.
I bet you it's like 52 degrees right now out there.
So, I mean, even our first engine, we got 2.5, 3 years out of when we swapped the engine in. I think we got 2.5, 3 years out of it. And then all of a sudden the issues kind of started popping up as, we improved as drivers and, got faster, figured things out.
Yeah. That's what happened to us with brakes. Once we got, actually when they told us to put the bigger throttle body back on, that just increased our speed and braking, and we overheated the brakes that were working great prior to that. So it's amazing the threshold that you hit. You hit that threshold and boom, nothing else works right. So
it's a balance of everything. You gotta brakes and power and durability.
So you started, you went to school. You went to some NASCAR school.
So actually, before that, myself, Cliff, and Corey Danley, we all went to school at the Bobby Isaac Motorsports program here in Hickory. So that's where we all met.
Now, Bobby Isaac of the winged Dodge Daytona days.
I
Yeah,
believe
Bobby
so.
has it.
Yes.
Yep.
So they had at the time they had a Hooters Pro Cup program, oval short track racing, oval track, and we had like 20 students, and we built a race car, and one of the teachers was the driver, and we were the pit crew and every mechanics, and did the whole season of that. So that's kind of where we got our feet wet and real racing.
And
then,
so we've been,
then once you guys did that, and now you currently work for a company called, let me look this up here, called X Track. I guess you guys do something with tracks.
not exactly. Transmissions, world-class transmission supplier for
I've seen their big
series.
building, right off the highway going through Indianapolis. Huge building. Yeah. I guess they supply NASCAR, IndyCar, all kinds of Formula One transmissions, that kind of stuff.
So the Indy shop does all the IndyCar stuff. I'm down in Mooresville. We do all the NASCAR stuff.
Your dad says hi, by the way.
Dad says hi. I guess he's got internet connection. He was hoping he would have it tonight. He's on the ferry working tonight. So, Hi, Dad.
Best job ever has to be, except when it's windy and stormy.
Yeah,
I've gone across that. I saw your dad a few times over the years. I've gone over the ferry a bunch of times to Ocracoke, and he's one of the guys that drive. Does he drive it or load it or something? He does everything on it.
He's I guess what they call he was an oiler. I guess he'd be an engineer now. He's like the head of the engine room.
Right.
He's like the boss of the engine room, kind of oversees all the engines and whatnot.
They run around with the oil can like lubing valve trains, right?
Yeah, like, the Model T style, the exposed push rods and whatnot.
So when you work on those high-end transmissions and you're delivering stuff to the NASCAR teams and all of that, how much of that knowledge and attention to detail can you then pull over into the ChampCar stuff?
Say definitely the attention to detail. I mean, because we can't afford any failures with what we do at work. We're supplying top tier, NASCAR teams. So we are very meticulous at work. So that's kind of my thing in the race shop. I'm kind of the, very organized, meticulous, cross all my T's, dot my I's type of person. Some of the other guys are the guys that get the job done, but I'll go behind and make sure, that we put the paint marks on there or the, I forget what it's called, the other stuff that, mark all the bolts and whatnot.
Sure.
And, I change the oil, send the oil off for the oil sample, and, I'm more of the engine guy, transmission on the car, some Cliff and Corey are real good at suspension brakes and more of the fab work side of things. And Corey Brown's kind of our electronics, camera specialist, radios and all that stuff.
All right. So let's talk about transmissions. A little bit about them, I guess. ChampCar, we have a lot of guys that are, we go through transmissions a lot. And why do we go through transmissions? Why do they fail on us? Where, on the street, they last forever. But why are they failing on us racing?
Say just the heat and the wide open throttle. How often on the street are you banging through the gears, third through sixth, back to third through sixth, nonstop for 8, 10, 12, 24 hours. They were never designed to do that.
So what can we do as non, high-level transmission people? What can we do to help ourselves in that situation? Is it a better quality transmission fluid? Is there better ways to shift the transmission? Shall we just put automatics in all the cars? What should we do?
Well, definitely some good oil.
Okay.
For sure. Some synthetic, whatever your favorite brand, just make sure it's full.
Yes.
But yeah, more importantly, I guess.
Like up to the stick?
Yeah. Yeah.
you're going to get a guy that does that, by the way. Hey, they fill it up.
Yeah.
I've filled it up.
You know, most importantly, don't money shift it.
Well, sure.
You know, we've been there a few times. It happens. Depends on the transmission. Some gates are tighter than others, but
Right.
you know, be easy on it. You banging through the gears for that extra tenth of a second, it's not really worth it in an endurance race. You know, make
Right.
sure you release that clutch. Make sure you're in fifth gear instead of third gear. You know, you can feel it when you're pulling that clutch out. You don't need to dump the clutch.
But that's more
You
fun.
know. Well, it is more fun, and if you hit it right, it's a little bit faster. But we got 13 more hours to go in the race, so you got to make it last to the end and save it for the next guy. That's always kind of been my motto as a driver. Bring it home in one piece and make sure the next guy gets in.
So, do you do arrive and drives on your team?
Yeah. I mean, mainly with our second car with the 300 ZX. Right. But we've kind of got a core group of drivers that kind of we got 3 guys that are like our first 3 phone calls, and 95% of the time, pretty much they're in, unless they have some reason they can't make it. Otherwise, they're pretty much committed. So
are these guys with the large extended family that you bring to every race, which is the most awesome ever?
I would say so, yeah. I mean, we've been with them now. Most of these guys, one of them's probably been on and off with us for 5 years, and the other couple of guys probably 2 or 3 years. And they do a really good job. They're quick, take care of the equipment, so
Bill,
those are the guys you want. You don't want to, it's hard to bring in a first timer, when you're trying to compete.
I apologize. I have a little emergency here. You guys keep talking.
Yep.
I'll be right back.
All right, cool. Sounds good.
Yep.
So, so that's one of the things that you guys do really well is you bring your whole family with you. Whereas, guys like me, my family doesn't want to travel with us, but your family travels everywhere. I mean, your wife comes
most every race. Yeah, we got the wives, the kids, the dogs, friends, moms, dads, grandpas. We try to bring them all.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. The couple of times, I think it was AMP. You guys are doing pretty well at AMP, and we just kept hearing screaming like right outside the window of the tower. It was all the ladies every time you guys came by.
Yeah, so yeah, they normally get up there. If we're doing good, they'll be up there, cheering us on. So we've had a lot of success at AMP. So we've got to win there 4 years in a row. So
that's like a perfect track for that car.
It is, yeah. It really suits our car well. So we haven't been to many tracks that don't suit our car. It's just a matter of finishing. We've been quick at a lot, pretty much everywhere we've gone, but just got to bring it home, and sometimes it doesn't work out.
Then Brian's back. Look out. You got to ask the right question.
No, I'm back. Trying to catch my breath. Everything's fine. Nobody's hurt.
Well, good. Welcome back, Brian.
Oh, boy. Yeah, that's the joys of having a home studio, folks. I apologize for that.
Wait, you have a studio?
Yeah, well, a home-based thing.
Yeah. So if you guys were to choose another car right now, what would you choose?
We've tossed around the idea of a 350Z with an automatic to get the discount on the points. But honestly, I'd like to build another 240 now that we know what we're doing with the 240. Because there's a lot of weight we could still cut out of that car. That was our first build. This garage you see here, this is where it all started. We bent our own roll cage. There's nothing we paid anybody to do. We started from the beginning. We bought a Harbor Freight tube and bender thing and a mount that we had to weld up. I'm sure you guys maybe seen some of you guys that built roll cages, and we bent it up, with an angle finder and one piece at a time.
Yeah.
So
I don't know if I trust after working with our tech for so long. I see what other shops do. I mean, there's some good ones out there, but man, there's some shady ones, and you kind of,
I've seen some of the pictures on the internet. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've never had to go back and re-weld something at the track. So,
Right.
Cliff's our welder. He can weld the hell out of some stuff. He's our go-to welder guy. When it's got to be right, we call up Cliff.
So Timmy wants to know, how much do you think it is, or how much do you think it is it in it to make your first car? That's it. The word.
Ooh.
I think the initial build isn't all that much. Back when we were in ChampCar, but it's the development.
We started kind of the last year or two of ChampCar, and then it evolved into ChampCar. You could probably, in the low end, I'd say $5,000 if I'd recommend your first build, find you a caged car.
Yeah.
And start with that.
Yeah.
To do it yourself, it's a lot of work. Especially, I know not everybody's got the skills to fab and weld and build engines and whatnot. So
the hard part is when you build your own car, you're probably spending less upfront, but then you spend money over time to keep developing it and getting it to where it is. And in almost every instance when I talk to people who've done it, and I've done it, I'm sure that we spent more money over time than it would have been to just go out and buy a new car, or a car that's already been on the track and sorted out. The problem is that, that might be a $15,000 car, whereas you can get on the track with $5,000, like you said, and you're going to get to $15,000 or $20,000, but that might take you 6 or 7 or 10 years to get there. So sometimes it's just economics.
So I agree. Yes. Coming in, it would probably be better to buy your own car, but over the course of 8 years, we've developed our car. We built our car, so we kind of have to take pride in, we built this car. This is our car. We built it. We literally bought it for $800 and started stripping it down.
And it's funny because I've been here long enough to have seen some of most of our cars go through here, and there's people like Huggins and Trulio and you and there's a bunch of guys that have been with the series for a very long time, and they didn't jump from chassis to chassis to chassis. They developed a car, and it's taken years and years, and now you're seeing the results from that development.
Yeah, it's definitely been a long learning curve. We've chassis-wise, we pretty much got the suspension and brakes dialed in, and that wasn't overnight. That took lots of time and patience, and we've tried different springs and shock setups and this and that, so pretty much got it dialed in at this point. We think, this has been our most successful year to date. We've got 3 wins this year, so we're trying to go get that championship. We're trying to go get that championship this year. We finished second just behind Rockwell this year. So, just some average Joes in a garage. We competing against the big boys.
So ahead, as average Joes in the garage, obviously you guys went to school and you work in this every day. But there's a lot of gearheads out there that really have never turned much of wrenches. And I'm always asked, should I buy a car that's sorted, or should I not buy a car? Should I build a car? There's 2 schools of thought on that, right, Jeremy? You can buy a car that's sorted and go, but if you build it yourself, the learning that you're going to have will be a lifetime worth of knowledge. And you'll know every nut and bolt on that car versus buying someone else's car that's all been done. You may never get to some of those bolts because the car's put together already, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we know every nut and bolt in our car, even the ones that are mismatched to make work, stripped out holes, and we had to put a nut cert in, and we pretty much know every nut and bolt. Just the pride in building our own car instead of buying somebody else's car. That gives us a
Speaking of nut certs, have you done that? Gone through and put your own? Basically, I just drilled out everything and used bolts from Lowe's, metric bolts, and just used nut certs and replaced every bolt we knew was going to strip the threads out, or racing does it, but just did all that. Have you guys done that? Pretty much just got rid of everything?
Well, no, just as it wears out, our rear sway bar's kind of jacked up. We got a threaded insert in there that's kind of hanging on for dear life. And I think one of the transmission cross members, I think there's like 3 metric and 1 standard.
All right.
You got to whoever's taking that out's got to know what bolt goes back in the right hole.
All right, your mom just jumped on.
Oh God!
Just laid you out, man. Just rolled the bus right over you.
She just said, "Dude, you're not some rookie. You and your dad did some frame-off restorations of Ford Bronco. I assume it's an original Bronco, not one of the new ones."
So yeah, my dad's a big Bronco guy. We did one in high school, and he's done a bunch over his life.
Yeah. So that's good. I mean that this isn't a guy that just picked this stuff up in high school.
This is your life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we didn't have any money in high school. So when my truck broke down,
Wait, your mom just said you're millionaires.
Yeah. So I had to learn how to fix it myself because I couldn't pay anybody to fix it.
Yeah.
So I had to get in there. Luckily, an old car is a little easier to learn and work on. So, I got learned how to work on a carburetor and power steering boxes and whatnot.
Very cool. Yeah. One last thing on Bill's original question, then we can move on. When he asked you if you were to put a new car together, what would it be? You said a 350Z. Is that would you not contemplate a different manufacturer? Because I'm in the moment right now. I'm a Honda guy. I've built Hondas since 1989 with my dad. We started with a CRX, and I built a Civic, and I've got 2 Hondas out in the garage because I know how they work. So you immediately went to a 350Z. Is it because you don't want the learning curve of learning a new brands the way they do things, or would you consider going to something else completely?
I mean, if we went 350Z, we would have the same brakes because that's when we run the 350Z brakes. So one thing is the spares. You got to have spares for everything.
Right.
So that kind of covers all the brakes already. The engines are very similar. And Nissan pays $1,000 if you win a race.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, that really helps. If you win a race, that's an extra $1,000 in the pocket, minus taxes. We do have to pay taxes on that. So it's not quite $1,000, but
still $750 is $750.
Because we've never heard.
Helps. We're a win at AMP and then VIR here this past weekend. That's $2,000 in the bank. That's entry fee for the next race.
Wait, we're pricing these too low. Let me go change.
Well, close enough, or maybe 2 sets of tires, or 1 set of tires, depending on what you're buying.
Yeah,
1 tire. Yeah, the tire bill is. I was looking at them today, and I was like, wow, they went up in price.
Yeah.
So
I like the paying taxes part because
as always, you can get tires from TireRack.com, the official tire and wheel supplier from or for ChampCar.
There you go.
I actually have a meeting with Matt at Tire Rack here tomorrow. No, Thursday. So it'll be cool.
Well, they always get them to us on time. We've never not got them for a race, so that's where we get them.
What tires are you using now?
We've pretty much settled on the Bridgestones, the RE71s. They're worth their weight in gold. They're a little pricey. They don't last real long, but man, they're confidence inspiring.
Now, are you using the 355 whatever 18s?
The 395 2017s.
Yeah.
A ton of grip. But no, the car really responded to them. So we've been biting the bullet and paying that tire price.
And you guys use like 255 4017s. Yeah,
that's correct. Yeah. Every now and then, summertime, we'll run the hand cooks. Bridgestones don't like the hot weather. They're good for about 4 hours in the summer. That's not quite going to cut it.
Right.
And I'm going to ask a question that will just get everybody all riled up. And you use Fram filters, right?
Absolutely. From Walmart.
Yep. That's actually what I buy mine. Yeah. Now, what oil do you guys use?
So we've tried multiple different oils over the years, and we've settled back on what we started with, Rotella.
Okay.
It's diesel oil. It's
Yep.
cheap. You can get it anywhere, and it seems to do the job. We've tried these fancy racing oils and everything in between, and didn't seem to make much of a difference. So, $30 gallon of Rotella T6 gets it done for us.
It's just, after talking with Mobile One a whole bunch of times over the years, it was just basically just keep it clean. That's all it needs to be is clean oil.
Yeah.
Take
You
the
change
heat.
the oil, change the filter, and
Yep.
send it down the road.
Yep.
Now, have you guys had wheel bearing issues just like some of us have had, or is it you guys got that?
So
sort
we're
of...
pretty meticulous on our wheel bearing maintenance, but we have had a few failures over the years, but not many.
So
we
it's
had
funny. We switched over on the MR2 to 350Z or 370Z maybe hubs, and the bolt-on hubs, and they're bulletproof. They are absolutely bulletproof.
Yeah.
Take points for them, by the way, for anybody who wants to know. Yeah.
Yeah, we're still running the stock 4-lug. We'd love to go to the 5-lug hubs, but we don't have the points to spare. So
can't you take the 5-lug, the hubs and just re-drill them for 4?
I mean, I guess we could. We take the 5-lug rotors and drill those to 4, which is a lot of work.
I'm just stoking the flame somewhere on the internet. So,
hey, brakes are open. So,
yeah. So, what kind of cheaty stuff do you? Nobody's listening, but what kind of cheaty stuff do you have on that car?
No, we're all legit. Just like a certain car at Road Atlanta said, stock is best.
Yeah, I remember that. Who had that on their car?
I believe the car that finished in second place, but was later DQ'd. I'm not going to throw them under the bus. They know who they are. I think everybody listening, you're in ChampCar, know who they are. I'm not going to name names, but
yeah, it's all right.
They had the same supposed engine in their car as ours, and they were just destroying us on the straightaways. So
right,
we had a suspicion something was not quite stock.
Don't you love it? You think people would look around? Hey, wait, don't pass that MR2 that fast. Slow down a bit if you're in the same car.
Yeah, I mean I think the series does a good job, kind of policing itself. I mean, you could tell when there's an outlier, when there's something.
Yeah, we've got our focus
way
on a couple
faster
right
than
now.
It should be.
Yeah, and we've got our focus on a couple of them. One, don't tell anybody. One's a VW Rabbit. We're really going to be watching those guys.
Yeah. Diesel power.
No, just a gas. I think it's a 1600 or 2-liter. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is the?
Just looking at you, Tim.
What does the 2024 look like for NLS Racing?
So I think the plan tomorrow night. So Wednesday night is our get together night, our working night. So we'll have a sit down tomorrow night after the race. But normally we would go straight to Road Atlanta, and then the South Course VIR is our normal schedule. But with the championship race in the middle of March, I think we're going to kind of pull back and focus on that. Get the car sorted. The car needs the front end's looking a little rough at this point. The splitter's been hanging on for quite a few races now, so I think we're going to kind of rebuild the front end, put some fresh fenders on it, and she's a little worse for the wear at the moment. 8 plus years of racing. So
have you done well at Instium?
We've never been there.
Oh,
so this will be a new track for us. So
interesting.
We've been wanting to try and do some new tracks. We're 8 years in now. We've mostly been VIR, Atlanta, CMP, Charlotte. Which please bring back Charlotte. I love Charlotte.
I do too.
I know it's like a 50-50. That's a love or hate track. I love it.
I love the track. I've done well there in all the times we've raced. But yeah, it's one of those. They're building a new track, a new road course.
I saw that.
So we're gonna kind of keep an eye on that one and see what happens there. So
and plus that's like an hour down the road for us. So that
it's
pretty much makes it a no-brainer.
4 hours for me, or 3 hours for me here. So
yeah,
it's great.
Yeah.
So you never raced at NCM. I think that car should do well. Looks like all the big guns are going there. I'm 99.9% certain there will not be a park for me. It will be an 8+7 and 2 races, lowest score wins. So lowest score meaning you add up your finish from day 1 to your finish of day 2, and the lowest score wins.
So we just need to win Saturday and Sunday. That's all ours, right?
Yep. And that's
It's
really
gonna be
easy
tough.
to do in ChampCar.
It's going to be a tough field for sure. There's the competition level's been tougher than ever in ChampCar right now.
Yep.
There's a lot of good cars. I mean, so we're looking forward to it. There's like 87 corners or something at that track.
It's a lot of corners.
Track map.
I mean, it's fast. It's got some really, some good straightaways, some fast sweepers. I always looked at it like you have basically you have 2 tracks, and they're sort of the same, laid out the same. Just they look different, but they're driven almost the same. So no park for me, multi-car crazy. Just go racing. You have 2 chances to win. So, and that's kind of from the boss, but I said I'm 99.9% certain. We'll talk about it this week with Chelsea, and I have the subs done, and they're built to that, to 2 races. But I was going to wait until I got the official word from her before I posted it.
Well, we'll take it either way. We've won some 12 and 14 hours, and we've won some 8 and 7. So, we'll take it any way we can. We can get it.
Do you approach a track differently when you've never been there before? What's your approach? How do you guys prepare for that?
I mean, we'll watch video. Go on YouTube and watch track video, of course. A couple of the guys on the team are real good at watching video as far as like dissecting the track and whatnot. I'll watch video. I'm not real good on I'm watching like, okay, to learn the track, but I'm not good at dissecting it like, oh, I need to turn in a little earlier than that guy did, because that's not my car, so I don't really know. I just know our car does pretty good on the tight tracks. It's a pretty good handling car, so a lot of corners there. So I feel confident we'll have a pretty quick car there. Watch video and then just prepare. Most of our races are won in the garage. Driving on the tracks. I don't want to say the easy part, but all the prep's done at the shop, and as long as we keep it on, between the ditches and on track, we're going to be there at the end.
So Jimmy just jumped on me because we've done, when we get there early to the track, we usually get time to go out, and one of the guy that runs Thunder Hill now used to work at NCM, and he's given us all kinds of tips on how to take the corners, like turn 1. Basically, you want the car. You want 2 wheels. You want to straddle the curbing, basically, as you go into turn 1. And that's the fast lane. Now, I don't know if that's considered exceeding track limits because things change over time at tracks. Sometimes they don't want you going out there. So you got to be careful, Jimmy, about what we tell them.
So we're going to be getting 5-second time penalties like F1? Is that what's going to happen?
Actually, yeah. So they did do, we had to do time penalty, or I think it might have been lap penalties for exceeding, some areas of the track. And that is one of them where they do it. And they're really, really tough on sound. That's going to suck with some of these cars that are loud exhaust. I don't know, Boxsters, because none of the Boxsters seem to be quiet no matter what they do, but it's going to affect them, and it's going to affect. I think it's going to affect the race. So,
car is pretty good and quiet. I mean, a loud car just wears you out. You're in there listening to that thing screaming for 2 hours. Our car's, very reasonably, quiet, I believe. So
yeah, it is. It is quiet.
Yeah.
But this track is extremely. Yeah, read the sups, when I put them up. But this is one of those tracks that they do sound. They'll do sound on the practice day, and they'll keep tabs on it. We tell them what our number is, and that's what they go with. They have multiple sound meters all over the track, and they will let us know the cars that are over, and we'll let you know. If you're way over, they won't let you back out on the track. But if you're close, we'll let you know, and then you can go to a local auto parts store and buy some mufflers. So works out really well there.
Yeah. All right. Anything else for Jeremy before we let him go, Bill?
I don't know, man. Thanks for coming with us. And look, let's talk real quick. Let's talk about the race finish. So Sunday.
Yeah, we didn't even cover
we didn't talk about the race.
The race.
Well, you teased it. Well, you teased it ahead of time and kind of gave away the ending.
I know. Yeah. So okay, you guys won overall, but it wasn't easy. You had to chase down the national champion, Rad. You know, Rockwell Auto. Yeah. So they took a chance. We had a red flag. We had a team that decided their oil didn't want to stay in their oil pan when they went off-roading, and we were under red flag for an hour. So that changed the strategy of the race in a big way.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, Rockwell came in and I think they pitted early for fuel, and then thought that maybe they can go the distance. You know, maybe run out of fuel on the cool down lap or something. But they were close. But you guys
were very
pushed
close,
and you guys pushed them.
So we hammered down, knowing that they did a driver-only change and had to go like 2.5 hours on fuel. So we hammered down. You know, we knew we could go. You know, we did our pit stop. We had plenty of fuel, so we pushed them as hard as we could. And you know, as they got close to the end, we could see them starting to drop off on time. I guess they were pedaling it a little bit. And I believe we got to within about 20 seconds of them. And then I believe that's when they pitted. They must have been stumbling because they made it to pit road. So they didn't run out, but they must have obviously been stumbling to where they had to bring it in.
I was watching because, you know, went over to timing and scoring, and we're looking. It's like, how long have they been out there on that fuel? And we knew they only did a driver change. And we're watching their times quick and then not quick and then slower. And it's like, okay, they're fuel conserving. And I was watching when your driver came down the front straightaway, they were just going into turn one. So I knew he could see them. He could see them. Yeah. And that right there is huge. When you can see the guy and you can see yourself reeling him in, that just pushes you even harder.
Yeah. So to even top it off, they borrowed one of our rental drivers on Sunday. So one of our guys that's been with us for quite a while drove their car on Sunday. He didn't sandbag them. You know, we jokingly were like, "Oh, you know, go out there and sandbag and help us out." You know, but no, he drove his ass off. He didn't give up. You know, he's a competitor. So, you know, shout out to Kevin. He's been racing with us for a while. But yeah, he did his job in that car, and we did our job. And you know, our goal was push them. We knew they're either going to make it or they're not. We have to hammer down and hope for the best, you know, and it worked out. I think we only led the final 4 laps, I believe. So, you know, only got to lead the last one.
That's right. That's right.
So, question is, what does NLS stand for?
Well, it depends on who's asking, and if it's next level stuff. Solutions.
Yeah.
Next level solutions, next level stuff, you know, however you want to interpret that.
So the finish and the strategery of your win last on Sunday, that's kind of like the joy of endurance racing. You know, you came up with a plan, they came up with a plan, you executed, they executed. Your plan was a little bit better. That's always really satisfying in general. But when you race a team with the level of experience and talent as the Rockwell guys, that's got to be even more satisfying.
Yeah, I mean, especially after coming up just short at Road Atlanta in the championship race. You know, we finished second right behind them. I think only a lap or two down after 14 hours. So, you know, to come back and, you know, get one on top of them, you know, makes it even better. Not dissing any of the other competitors. You know, there's a lot of tough guys, you know, especially at VIR. I mean, Huggins, I think he's out crew. I mean, they owned VIR for years. So
yeah.
Oh, they were.
And they finished second.
Yeah.
They were right behind us. You know, them guys, you know, early in the day were down in the teens, and all of a sudden they're 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, and there they are at the end. I mean, they're tough competitors. You know, Atlanta Speedworks, them guys, they were there all day. I'm not sure what happened to them at the end, but
They had
Prefect.
hub
We had a
failure.
good race. It's a hub failure.
A hub failure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We had a good race. The first half of the race was Prefect. We were back and forth with them guys for a while. Not sure what happened to them. A lot of different teams over the years and races. There's stiff competition in ChampCar. There's no free wins.
Right.
Yep.
Hey, so folks want to see your trophy there.
So this is I think perhaps one of our coolest. This is Iron Man.
Yeah.
That is very cool.
So yeah. I'm pretty proud of that one. I kind of did a little staging here, so a couple of our.
You mean it's not like that all the time?
No, we'll show off. It's not all of them though. Some of them are in the other garage we got.
Nice.
So kind of spread them around until one of these days we've been talking about building a trophy case, but
cool.
We got a race car to work on, so that kind of goes to the wayside.
Yeah.
It's just more time.
Yeah, it's funny. You go to some of these big, like Riley's, shop, and they've got all the trophies in the trophy case. Same with Bimmer World. They have all the trophies in the trophy cases, but the ChampCar and ChampCar trophies get the most views. And what's that? Where'd you get that from? The questions and such.
Yeah.
So yeah, I made sure to bring this home from the race. I wanted to bring it into work. That victorious Monday, walk in with the trophy. So I brought it into work, and then. Luckily, I guess I'm doing this tonight, so I had the trophy, so show it off a little bit. It's, the coolest trophies in racing. I mean, everybody at work, thinks they're so cool.
And for having you on the show, I get a Opel GT X-Track transmission, right?
I don't know if we make one of those, but I can look into it.
Swear to God, it's only like 12 inches long. So it's, the whole transmission, it's tiny.
I've been trying to figure out a way I can sneak one out of the shop and put into our race car.
Part by part, and it goes. I've heard that Johnny Cash song. Takes
years. one piece at a time.
Bill, if you got a big enough checkbook, they'll make you a transmission.
Oh, I know they will. I know they will. We actually talked to X-Track years ago about a transmission for the MR2. We also talked to Quaife and some other companies too. So it was, none of them wanted, they wanted some big bucks.
Sure.
But good transmissions, though, all of them.
Yeah. So. We've they got a pretty good track record for sure.
Yep.
It's good stuff.
That's it. Thanks. Thank you, Jeremy.
All right.
Thanks.
Mind if I just want to give a shout out to all my guys.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
Yep.
Cliff, Corey, Danny, Ryan, Scott. You guys are awesome. Love you guys.
Any sponsors you want to say thank you to?
Unfortunately, no sponsors. It's just us.
All right.
We're keep plugging away at it here. One day, maybe we'll get a sponsor.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
All right. Jeremy Boyce, thanks a lot for being with us, and good luck at NCM coming up.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for being.
All right. So that was a lot of fun there, Mr. Bill.
Yeah. I was like the NLS guys, the whole family is just such a hoot to hang out with. And I have to break out the wide camera because they bring the whole family out, and when they're up on the trophies, getting their trophy, there's a lot of them.
I always wondered who gets to keep the trophies, because obviously the team owner is all part of the game. But, if you do this long enough and you come up with, you could win 20 trophies over the years, do any of the other drivers get to grab one once in a while?
Yeah, really.
I love it. All right, what else?
Wait. Well, today is December 5th. Today is the last day to get your early discount, your $200 off the Road Atlanta 14 Hours race in February. So today's it. We have 27 teams signed up. Whoa, there's some big names on here, man.
Cool.
Whoa, yeah. Eddie Vedder, which is the Corvette, which is the same team that had Freddie Mercury. So now they have Eddie Vedder.
Now they've got Eddie Vedder. Okay, I like it. I get it. I catch what you're throwing down there, Mr. Bill.
Yep. And but everybody's coming to this one. It looks like Money Shift Racing will be there. Money Shift Racing back on our sponsorship for next year. Let's see what else is going on. today I did Chelsea and I did some updates on the Sebring race coming up here at the end of the year, New Year's Eve.
Okay.
We have got our schedule in place. We have a track day going on. It's $200 for members, $250 for non-members.
Right.
But they have to become members. But we do it. We're going to do it locally, and we're gonna have open passing. Or sorry, we're gonna have only passing in the straights type thing.
Sure.
To start off with for the day, point buys, that kind of stuff, and then open passing after that.
Nice.
After the lunchtime, we're gonna do a lunch quiet time, and then racing 8 hours on Saturday, 7 hours on Sunday for New Year's Eve. It's going to be a fun race. We are going to, for those that have been down to Sebring, I talked to the tech guys tonight. We're doing 2024 tech, which means we're going to have like 100 cars
Sure.
in for tech. So, which we have 100 cars entered. So, we have decided to move tech out into the runway area, which is, or not runway, the parking area. It'll be right. There's some garages or bathrooms out there right next to it, and we're going to move it out there. Go download the SUPs, and you'll be able to find out where tech is. Big red box. Don't park your motorhome there. We'll try and have it all blocked off for you. I think other series do their tech out there as well.
Right. So if people don't want to go through that 100-car line, can they do use their 2023 tech for Sebring and do their 2024 tech at the next race?
Exactly.
Great.
So, yeah. So you want 2024 tech, or you have not got a
correct, right? Sure.
Tech, you need to go there. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and we're staying open, keeping tech open till 5, till 6 o'clock. After that, we are going out, eating steak, drinking beer.
Nice.
I think it could be just burgers though.
That's okay.
But yeah, and then
should go out for Gator.
We've done the Gator tail thing.
Yeah. We I might have had it once, but the last time I was at Sebring, I went all in on trying the Gator, and I am a fan.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So we have Chelsea and Ray's coming over tomorrow morning, and we're headed out to PRI. So we're going to be at PRI. I'm going to try and do some updates, some inside ChampCar live stuff. I don't know. It's we'll do something.
Okay.
And from PRI. And talk to some folks. We have some meetings all lined up with some important peoples, and Tire Rack's coming back next year. If you guys didn't know that, we agreed on a contract, and they're back.
Nice.
We are going to be a little more strict on some of the decals. Some of you guys, just to let you know that your top window banner, I'm going to announce this January 1 because I don't want to confuse it with everybody now. Because I know we're going to go to Sebring. Well, Bill said January 1, you cannot have anything within 6 inches of the Tire Rack banner across the top of the window.
Oh.
So some of you, and you can't have other tire manufacturers, can't have tire companies, can't do stuff like that. So it has to be Tire Rack only up there. So make it nice and clean. You can still have your backing panels on it, but it can't be, what do you call it? It has to be solid colors.
Yep.
All
right.
So what's up with you, Brian? Anything new?
No, just you're going to Sebring in January or in late December. I'm going January 12th, so we're like 39 days away.
Yep.
And I've been doing all of my preseason prep, and
I talked to Todd Burris this morning.
Yeah.
Spec Miata racer,
Uh-huh.
and also our Krispy Kreme sponsor.
Yep.
And he's coming back as well.
Cool.
But yeah, he said there's like 3 races going on. There's one at Homestead, one at Sebring, and then I guess Farah is there too. So it's a lot of Miata racing down there, which is one of the reasons why we filled up our race so quickly. It's 100 cars.
Yeah.
Normally we have a 90 car limit, but this track let us take it up to 100.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah. So if you want to go and spend a lot of time in the Sunshine State during the months of December and January, there's a lot of racing to be done there.
When is that Rolex thing?
Oh, that's at the that is the last weekend in January over at a different track.
Yeah, and then we go to, because we could do that and then come up, do that Rolex thing.
Yep.
And then just the next weekend we're at Road Atlanta. I bet my wife would love me gone for like 6 weeks.
That's what she keeps telling me. Just keep him out of the house, Brian. Hey, I got a text. I think, can you send Bill to like race in Azerbaijan?
Doesn't he have a race to go to?
That's right. I said I'll work on that. I'll work on that. Yeah. Well, you know, when you're gone, she doesn't have to trip over your underwear in the bathroom.
That's true. That's
right. That's right.
So we're waiting for Chris to send me the latest version of the BCCR. It's got a little tweaks to it. We got a door bar. You know, the door bar should be sorted out.
Yep.
In the book. So we're waiting for Chris to send that to me. Intent, Chris. And they'll get that off to us. And then we'll put that up on the web. We're still waiting for I've done all my counting on the election.
Okay.
We're waiting for Tiffany to do her counting, and then once we see hers, we'll compare.
And I will be the next president of ChampCar.
And there you go, Brian. Let me tell you, don't want it.
No. And
it looks like roses and everything. Let's talk to Chelsea about that.
Yeah, nobody wants me to run ChampCar either. By the way.
Yeah.
That would not be. That would not be good.
And me neither, because it'd be free coolers for everybody. Yeah, and that's not beer coolers, by the way.
Exactly.
But yeah,
every race would be at Road America.
Oh yeah, there's people out there that would like that.
No one would argue with me.
Yeah,
no one would argue with me.
I don't know who we're having on next week. I need a guest for next week. Anybody want to volunteer?
Well, I have a suggestion for you, but we'll have to talk about that off air.
Okay. Sounds good. And we have we could maybe talk to the new board of directors.
Yeah.
So maybe something like that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So.
Because it's what's the day? 5th?
Today is the 5th.
Yeah, because we were supposed to announce it on the 15th, so whenever that is.
All right.
Yeah, we'll see.
Anything else?
All right, Brian. No, I think. Oh, let me think. There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot going on in ChampCar right now. We're starting to get our contracts in. You're gonna. I really suggest that. Things have been kind of the same over the last 10 or 15 years with a lot of these contracts, because ChampCar's 15 years old.
Yeah,
coming up soon. So
we should have
the last 15 years, things have pretty much been the same. Now, a lot of tracks. We just got some stuff from Pittsburgh tonight or this evening, and Chelsea called me and we discussed some of the changes they have, and some of them are, some tracks are like taking away some of the. We had talked about this before, Brian. Alcohol.
Yeah.
That they're putting some restrictions on when alcohol can be consumed and things like that. So take a look at your SUPs when they're up. Read through them all. Chelsea is we're putting everything we can into the SUPs to help you guys better prepare for these races. We don't want you to get to the track and say, I didn't know I was supposed to put a muffler on my car. Or that guardrail was going to cost me $2,000.
Just don't hit the guardrail.
Yeah. And this past weekend, we had a few $1,000s for the damages that we paid for. We put up the, as I said, we're going to, send out the damage invoices to the teams, and they are paying them. So they're getting back in. So for next year, we're in. Actually started now. We're putting a 4% charge on the invoices to cover our fees, because we found out we were losing a lot of money. So and unfortunately, we don't get to use as a nonprofit. We don't get to use that as a tax write-off.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I get it. All right, my friend. I moved the machine to give applause, and then I have to move it back. All right, that is going to do it for another episode of Inside ChampCar. If you like what you heard, subscribe to the podcast so you won't miss any episodes. It would also be great if you share it on your social media channels. You can comment on the ChampCar Facebook page, especially if it's a good one. New episodes every week. He's Bill Strong. I'm Brian Bielanski. You're listening to the Racing Wire Podcast Network, and you're watching ChampCar Live on YouTube. We'll see you next week.